All right. So, hello everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I am Jasmine Erickson. And just a little bit about me. I do foot zoning. Obviously, I'm also a personal mentor. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. All of those roles that kind of go with everything. And I live in this little teeny tiny town called Mink Creek, Idaho, and just in this little hobby farm and with my little girl and my husband. So a little background about me. What you guys can expect to learn out of this tonight is I'm going to teach you 3 basic techniques to, apply in foot zoning. So by the time we're done, you should be able to, get on someone's feet. Like Jillian, you can get on your little girl's feet and just start rubbing away and practice. I'm also going to talk to you guys about how you can balance your emotions through foot zoning, as well as how you can actually feel fulfilled through foot zoning and through serving, because serving tends to drain our batteries a little bit. All right, so before I get into, the nitty gritty about foot zoning, which is I know why you guys are here, I want to give you my story and tell you what it was that drew me to foot zoning, because I tell you, this is the last place I ever thought I would be in a million years. I would tell you that you were crazy if you told me this 5 years ago. So growing up, one of my very best friends, her parents got into this whole foot zoning thing. And it was still really weird, like witchcraft voodoo stuff back then. And I'm like, oh, whatever, that's fine. They can do whatever they want. But I always had really bad back problems growing up. I was always in pain. And you shouldn't have to be in pain when you're that little, right? I was probably like 10, 11, 12. But I remember my friend's dad, he would get my feet and he would rub my feet and he would work that area on my feet that correlated to the back. And it made such a huge difference. And so I remember whenever I was there, I'm like, oh, my back hurts. Hey, will you rub my feet? And I was so excited whenever he would agree. And so I always knew that it worked. I always knew that it was a good, positive thing. Fast forward, graduate high school, college, get married. And I decided that my mother-in-law really needed to learn how to foot zone. So I was this, nice little, not salesman, that's the wrong word, but I was advertising for my friend's parents' business that they had created. And she totally decided to do it. I was so excited. It was so fun to see her learn and to grow, and obviously to get free foot zones. That's a major, major perk. But the catch was that it was okay for her to do it, but there's no way I was going to do it. No way at all. Because I hated feet, like with a fiery passion. For any of you that know me, I've probably told you this before, but even up until like a day before I started my first class, if my husband so much as like touched me with his feet, like in bed, if he like kind of rubbed, I was so mad. Like, not only did it just bug me, but it disgusted me, and I just thought feet were nasty. And so I never, ever thought that I was going to do this. So a couple of years later, I was out to dinner with an old roommate, and we were talking about like oils, and somehow foot zoning got brought up. And clear as day, it was one of those moments where you just get this like thought popped into your head. It's like, you need to do that. You're going to do it and you're going to like it. And I'm not sure if I actually laughed out loud, or it was probably more just like terror, like, oh my gosh, that involves feet. There's no way I can do this. Like, no. Like, I couldn't even entertain the thought at all. So I kind of like brushed it off, and it just kept coming back up. Like, you need to do foot zoning. You need to do it. So I'm like, fine. I knew better than to ignore those kind of thoughts popping in my head. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to do it anyways. But then like I started doing the research, and I talked to my friend, and I talked to her dad and got the details about the course. And I was like, I can't do this. I have no money. Okay. So we had been married maybe 3 years. We had a little 4-month-old girl. We were financially like not doing so hot. We were we were lucky to get our rent paid and to get groceries. And so the thought of having to pay like some tuition for this course that involved me rubbing someone's feet, it's like, oh, heck no. Like, I just wanted to give up, but the thought just wouldn't go away, guys. I couldn't shake it. So I did what it took. I worked extra shifts at work. I was a waitress at Chuckarama. I started selling essential oils. And keep in mind, during all of this, my husband was going to school full time and he was working graveyard shifts. So we're trying to juggle all of this. And you guys, it was hard. It was so hard. But I knew that that's what I needed to do. And I knew I wanted it bad enough. And so I made it happen. So now here I am doing foot zoning and I absolutely love it. And the cool thing was I show up to class day one and I'm like still a little eerie, like I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then we were expected to practice day one on someone else in the class, like actually touch their feet, you guys. I was like, ugh. But I did it. And ever since then, since day one, it has not been an issue. It shed like a whole new light on the human body and what the feet actually represent. So I absolutely loved it. So there's kind of my story. So let's jump right into the 3 techniques that I am going to tell you. But before I do that, actually, I'm going to share my screen for a second. Let's see here. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what foot zoning is, because some of you have had your feet zoned before. Some of you have no clue what I'm talking about. And it just sounded interesting. But so basically, there's so much that your feet can tell you, you guys. And once you get a little glimpse into this world, I promise it will change your life. It's completely changed my life. So let me move this over here. I don't know if you guys can see everyone's picture on my screen as well. There we go. Okay, so what is foot zoning? You're welcome to read through this little thing that you see on the screen here. But I'm just going to give you the spiel that I give to all of my first-time clients. So what foot zoning does and how it works is there are reflex points all over your body, but we specifically work with the ones on your feet. And what's awesome is that each of those, they correlate to a different area in your body. So as we're working with those reflex points, we're kind of like stimulating and balancing those corresponding areas of your body to get it back into balance, essentially. So one of my favorite things that I love about foot zoning and this approach is that like we're so much more than a physical body, you guys. We are so much more. And we all know that. I mean, especially like as women, right? All you ladies on here, we are a ball full of emotions and they're like all over the place. So for someone to sit there and say, they're like, oh, just treat your physical body and you'll be fine. I don't buy it, not one bit, because my emotions are wrapped up into everything. So with foot zoning, it taps into, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual aspects of your body. Because if any one of those are out of whack, like I don't care how good you eat, and I don't care if you like run 10 miles every day, if you're not dealing with your emotional well-being and you're an emotional wreck, it's going to take a toll on you physically, you guys. And there might be some of you that can actually relate to that in one aspect or another. So me being able to come in and to get a zone and feel like I'm just going to lose it and I can't stand my family anymore, and then to be able to leave and go home and say, oh, I love you. I'm actually happy to see you. That's a big deal. So when you are looking at your feet, let me see if it'll let me go back here. Oh, I don't know how to change the slides. Oh, well, oops. That's not what we need. Okay, so when you look at your feet, it's a mirror image of your body. So the right foot is going to deal with the right side of your body and the left foot, the left side of your body. Pretty simple. So as you start on the outside of the foot, let me see if I can draw here. Oh, goodness. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure if it's going to let me do that. I'm going to have to figure that out. All right. So like your little pinky toe, okay? That outside of your foot, you're going to get everything on the outside of your body. So you're going to get your shoulder, your arm, you're going to get your hip, your leg, and all of those things, okay? And as you move towards the center of your foot, like towards the arch, you're going to move towards the center of your body. So you're going to get your ribs, your eyes, your sinuses, and essentially the center of your body, your midline, is where your arch is at. So that's going to be your back. Okay. So whenever your arch is hurting or whenever your back is hurting, work that so good. And the bottom of your foot, like the pad of your foot, that's all the internal stuff. The more like deep nerves, tissues, you're going to get your organs and all of those things in there. So I'm going to escape out of the screen sharing to see if I can figure out how to draw on here, because we're going to need to do that while I show you what we're doing. Okay, move this over here. Okay. All right. Sorry, you guys. This is kind of a joke tonight. Alrighty. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on your inner lymph. Will someone let me know if my little menu bar is right over their picture, if you can see that, or if it's only on my screen? Someone just dropped down in the comments because I want to make sure that it's not blocking anybody's view. Okay. I'm just going to assume that it is because no one's saying anything, and we'll just play it safe. All right. So your inner lymph. Oh my word, you guys. All right. So we're just going to have to do this way. Make this big this way. Okay, so what your inner lymph is your body has a lymph system. And as you, like, if you get sick, oh, you could see it fine. Okay, glad I was worrying for nothing. Thanks, Karen. Oh man, now I can't stop this. When you guys get sick, what is happening is your lymph system is, oh heavens. It's a fluid that runs through your body, and you have lymph nodes, and I'm sure you've all heard of it before. So like whenever you get sick, you'll notice that like under your, like kind of right here is going to get really tender, and like other areas of your body, that's like where the biggest concentration of those lymph nodes are. And their job is to filter through the lymph in your body and to get rid of all the viruses and all the junk that is holding on, that your body's holding on to essentially. So we're going to try this again. All right. So your inner lymph, what you're going to want to do is there are 3 main points on your feet. There's a point right here, kind of between those tendons, and right here. If you have a foot handy or want to feel on your own foot, what you'll notice is that in those areas, it's kind of like an indent where it's going in, okay? And these are the drains for your inner lymph. And your inner lymph is going to be dealing with the lymph and the lymph nodes to from your throat and into your neck. That area right there that always just gets really achy when you start to get sick. So first thing you want to do if you're experiencing this is, we say to drill. So basically just like this little spiral thing, just kind of right there, okay? And each of those points, just to kind of get that opened up and get it moving. Because one thing that's really cool, and I notice this on kids a lot as well, that when you actually touch the top of your foot, if you are sick and you are congested, it'll seriously feel like you're pushing peanut butter. You guys, like it's so thick, it's just like sludge. It's literally that lymph that's just stuck and just staying. So what you're going to do, you're going to follow in between these tendons. So there's the tendon that runs on each of those toes right there. And we call it a walking drill. So essentially, you're just going to make contact in between those tendons, and you're going to go in that direction, okay? So you're going to start on the outside, and you're going to work towards the inside. So you'll start here at this drain. You're going to do that walking drill down there, and you're going to do that same thing between each of those little tendons. Just kind of do that. So essentially, you're just doing like a little spiral, okay? if you can't pick up on that from my awesome drawings. So once you get to there, you know, you're pushing everything down into these two top drains right here. And then once you get there, you're gonna do that same walking drill. And you're gonna start over by the pinky and you're gonna go across the top, and then you're gonna drill. You're gonna drill, baby, drill. And that is really gonna get that lymph flowing. So you're gonna do the exact same thing on this other side. You know, you're gonna wanna drill each of these drains right here. And then you're gonna do the same thing again. And I'm not gonna go through and draw everything, but you kind of get the point, right? So when you're doing this, you wanna start on the outside and you're gonna go towards the middle, okay? Because a lot of those drains are like in the center of your body. And if you remember, like I was saying, this, like your arch, the center, this area right here, that's the center of your body. If you cut yourself in half, that's what you'd be dealing with right there. So you want to pull all of that junk and all of that lymph that's stuck to the center, okay? So move from the outside to the inside, and then that same thing across the top. When you do this last drain at the top, you're gonna go over here and then you just drill, 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 okay? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. So that like while we're here and while I know what slide I'm on and how to make it work, that we can actually get to it. Because who knows what this next slide is going to bring. All right, so the next thing that we are going to learn, apparently I need to erase this. Eraser, perfect. Oh, cool.
Hi, Jasmine. Can I ask you something?
Yes.
So, like, if I just try it on myself, which is kind of hard because I have a big pregnant belly as well, but what if it's kind of tender when you get down to, like, that pocket, like, by your pinky? Does that mean, like... Right
here?
Yeah.
That just means that that drain is probably a little bit plugged. So, is this Karen?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it wasn't showing me a name, but yeah, so what I would say is when you're pregnant anyways, like your lymph is gonna kind of settle because the weight of your belly is blocking the lymph nodes and the flow of that lymph because you have a huge lymph center like in your groin area. And so that's why a lot of women get like the swollen feet when they're pregnant, is because it's all settling and it can't get back up. So that being said, that area, that's just one of those drains that's just kind of plugged and blocked. So I would really, really work that and really work your lymph and just rub your feet in general all over the place, because that's going to get your lymph flowing. And it's actually super, super awesome for like the swelling feet. I have seen and heard so many stories of pregnant women with like the painfully like swollen feet leave after their foot zone and like visibly see like a drastic difference. So yes, rub your feet. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if like it's just about, because I like was kind of doing that movement down and then it was like, oh, it's kind of tender, right?
Yeah.
They get to the end to that spot and
yeah, absolutely. So anytime that there's a tender area on your foot, it generally means that something is either like out of balance or there's some issue there, whether it's, you know, the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And we probably won't have time to get into all of that detail tonight. Does anyone else have a question about the lymph before we move on? Okay. So we're going to get into the colon. I love this part. This has become one of my most favorite areas. So your colon, basically your gut and everything is going to be in this general area right here. Okay. So on both of those feet. So as you're looking at the bottom of someone's feet, and if it's your own feet, it is super uncomfortable. But as you're doing that, you have to realize that it's, you know, it's reversed a little bit. And so since this is an entire body, you know, you don't just have your colon on one side, it's on both. So you're going to get, you know, half on one and half on the other. And let me see if I can change colors here quick to make this a little easier. Okay, so your colon is in this area, and it actually is kind of like a box. And it starts on your right side. So this is actually the right foot, and this is the left foot. Okay, it's kind of backwards because you're looking at it from the bottom. So what you're gonna do is, this is kind of where the colon starts, right in here. And so you're gonna do that walking drill over here, and your appendix is in this area right here. So there's kind of this funky little loop that you do just all on the bottom of your foot that kind of extended a little bit. And that's kind of catching into your appendix right there. And then you're gonna carry on and you're gonna do that walking drill, and you're gonna kind of make a box, okay? So that's gonna carry on to the other foot as well. Now, when you're zoning, you work with one foot at a time. So you always wanna work with the right foot first. So starting with the right foot, you're gonna do that right side of the colon. And what's awesome is that as you're working on someone's feet or your own feet, if someone is like really constipated, it's gonna feel hard. Sometimes you might even feel like it feels like knots, like when you're rubbing someone's shoulders and you can feel the knots. Sometimes that it feels that way when you're doing that. And that just shows that there's like an actual blockage. If it's if someone's really dehydrated, it's just gonna feel kind of like squishy, like there's just not much substance to it. It's just gonna kind of slide right along. So once you get to the left foot, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna do those walking drills kind of all around, because if you look at a picture of your colon, that's exactly how it's shaped. And you're gonna go over here, and there's this spot right here. And for some reason, the name is escaping me, but right in the center, oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. There's this spot, which I will have to get back to you what the name is. I can't think of it at the moment. It's like a pressure point for your colon. So you're gonna really drill right there, and then you're just gonna keep on going off to the side of the foot. So this is really good to get things flowing and to get things moving in your bowels. Especially like for little kids, any of you guys that have little babies or little kids at home, this comes in really handy. I use this on my daughter so many times, because we all know that usually when babies get cranky, they either need to eat, sleep, or poop. And if they can't poop, they're not gonna stop crying. So remember, this is so, so helpful. Okay, does anybody have any questions on the colon? It's not really a topic that most people talk about, but it is so crucial. Like your gut health and your bowel and everything, it is so crucial to like how you're moving, basically, or not moving. All right, so we're gonna move on here. Okay, your jaw. All right, I have become very, very aware of the role that the jaw plays in our body. And the reason being is because I would always clench my jaw, but I didn't really even notice that I was doing it, to be perfectly honest. And as I realized where the jaw was on the feet and like how emotions are really stored there a lot, I noticed my jaw getting tight a lot more. So on your feet, well, that's an eraser. We don't want that. There we go, jaw. Okay, so this picture is kind of blurry, but keeping in mind that this is a mirror image of your body, down the center, you're gonna have your spine, right? So if you cut yourself down the middle, it would make sense that this would be your head and this would be your head. It's just cut in half, right? So this whole area on the big toe is your head, okay? So I wish this was a little bit more clear, but so you have your knuckle, like that knuckle joint right there, okay? So that's kind of where the knuckle's out on that side. So what we're gonna do is right beneath the knuckle, like on the inside, there's this spot and it kind of indents and you'll feel it. You kind of drill a little bit right there, okay? And then we're gonna go to, let me get my picture of a clock right. You're gonna go 2 o'clock and then 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock? No, 5 o'clock, sorry. So 2, 5, and 9. And what you're going to do on these arrows is, so you're going to drill first, and you're actually going to drag and just like keep contact and just pull it in these directions from the center. And what is so awesome is that, so this is your mouth right here. So if you picture, this is the joint where your jaw connects. This is your top jaw as it goes, you know, like out to your top teeth. This is your bottom as it goes like kind of out to your chin. And this goes back out to your ear. So, hold on, we got a question here. Okay, Karen, I can see a definite spot on the left foot that you're talking about. Yeah, it's so crazy. I love that you're like doing this as we're talking. That's so cool. Okay, oh, now it's gonna let me draw on the chat. So let me turn that off. Okay, so back to our drawing. So this is your head, okay? So this is gonna be your right jaw, because now we're looking at the top of the feet, right? So it's actually the same. So the same over here. You're gonna have this point right here, and you're gonna drill. And then you're gonna go out this way. And I'm not gonna attempt to know what those are. I'm assuming that's probably like 10 o'clock. This is probably 7. And this is 3. Okay, so what you're gonna notice is that as you go towards the outside right here, the one that has the 2 arrows on each side, that is, it's always gonna open up towards the outside of your body, okay? Because it makes sense, because if this is your spine, this 3 o'clock and this 9 o'clock, where it's going back towards your ear, that's where it's working, okay? So that is one area that is so huge. You could work that all day long. My husband always knows when I'm biting my tongue, because you can actually do the same pattern on the actual jaw joint. I'm not sure if you guys can actually see me or just my screen, but if you like find that joint on your head and you kind of drill right there and you pull, oh, apparently I need to speak up because my jaw, in those 3 directions, it's a pressure point, and it can actually relax your jaw. So that is one thing that's really awesome that I absolutely love. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Does anyone, drilling into that really hurts? Okay, so Karen, can I have your permission to, what's the word? To tell you why I think that is? just because I know you. Is that okay? Okay, awesome. Okay, so you guys all know Karen is my cousin, and we have a very large family, and there's lots of women. And the women in our family are very quiet and very submissive, very soft-spoken, generally, and we tend to kind of bite our tongue and not speak our truth and not speak what's really going on for us. So that is the perfect example. I'm so glad you brought this up. The perfect example of how emotions can store in our body. So as you're like biting your tongue, Karen, as you're not speaking, as you're just letting things slide by, that jaw is going to get really tight. And so for me, because I'm very similar and I was raised a similar way, I know that that's the first sign for me that I am not speaking up, that I'm not being true to myself, and that I need to say something. So if that's totally off base for you, Karen, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of where we're at. So thank you for like responding to that and letting me share. I appreciate it. Does anybody else have questions about any of those 3 things off the top of your head? No? Karen, you're pretty accurate. Yes. Okay. I know this because I'm related, but also it's so common with women, you guys. I work with so many women, and this is something that's consistently always coming up. because we're usually told that we're supposed to be submissive and quiet and not speak our mind, right? No, we'll work on that, but that's another day. So, all right. So I also wanted to talk to you guys about balancing emotions. And we did talk about emotions a little bit with the jaw. And what's really cool is that every part of your body is capable of like storing emotion. We've all heard of, like, oh, I hold all the stress in my shoulders, they get so tight. Or little kids, right? When little kids start school, they get sick all the time. They get like these stomach aches. And it's not because they have the flu. They're not physically ill. It's because their nerves are all gravitating towards their poor little stomach, and it's causing a physical reaction. So those are all really common, and people understand that. But when I get someone in my office that has never been zoned before and thinks I'm a little bit kooky, and I tell them, like, oh my gosh, you are storing a lot of emotion, like, in your bowels. And they're like, really? Really, my bowels? I'm like, yes, because think about it. And a lot of times they're symbolic as well. So one of the most common things that is stored in your bowels, emotion-wise, is, like, fear of letting go or really holding on to things. So think of the physical purpose and the movement of your bowel. It's to get rid of all the crap in your body, nothing is physical and emotional, and to let that go. So if we're holding on to things, whether it's a specific emotion, whether it's a situation where we've been offended and we're not letting that go, there's a good chance that you probably notice other physical issues in your bowels in that area as well. So by working with those reflex points on your body and stimulating those areas, it's allowing your body to release those emotions. Because what I love about our body is that it knows how to heal. So despite what we do, if we like cut our hand open, if we don't get stitches, if we don't, put a Band-Aid on it, our body will heal. It knows how to heal. Granted, it might not look as pretty as if, like we get the stitches and do all of those other things, but our body knows how to heal. And the same thing with emotions. Our body knows how to release emotions, but we get in the way. So by resetting your body and working with those four bodies, the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual as a whole, and balancing everything and bringing it into alignment, it can work so much better, you guys. And it's so funny to me. I always get women, they're like, oh, my husband needs to come do this. My husband needs this so bad. Because like they just know that it would make such a huge difference. And it would. But here's the trick. It's just like going to marriage counseling, okay? And the reason being is because if the wife drags her husband to marriage counseling and he doesn't want to be there, he's going to sit back with his arms folded like this. He's like, she ain't getting in my head. And yeah, if someone puts up that wall, you cannot break it. So, and it's all about agency, you guys. I have had some women bring their husbands, and it's always interesting whether they're with their husbands while they're getting zoned or while they're alone. It's always a very different experience. But if the husband isn't open to it, at least a little bit, like just like, oh, she's crazy, but I'll give it a shot. If they're not open to it, they'll get a really awesome foot rub, guaranteed. But like we can only do as much as that person is willing to let us in. We can't control anybody. We can't I don't know if any of you guys have teenagers. You can't pick up your teenage son's foot and say, you're freaking ornery. Let me rub this spot. Let me get all that out of there. Or with husbands, sometimes, it'd be nice to just pick up their foot and like flip a switch, say, okay, I'm done with the attitude. It doesn't work that way. But as you work on your feet, you're working on your emotions as well. And you're allowing your emotions to flow and to release if they're not serving you. I am losing my voice just a little bit. Let me grab a sip of water. Okay. So the third area that I really wanted to focus on is being able to feel like fulfilled and like actually filling your bucket, even though you're giving of yourself and even though you're like literally like rubbing someone's feet. That's not necessarily the most like attractive picture, or like, oh, I'm going to wake up and rub someone's feet today and I'm going to feel so good because of it. That's not something that we think about. But what is awesome is when you're working with the body, there is meridians, energy meridians that run from the top of your head down to your body. And there's I believe there's 10 different meridians. It's escaping me. There's 10 or 13. Sorry, guys. And that energy, it's like an electrical current that's flowing through your body. So as you're working with someone's feet, that flow of energy is running from them to you. And I don't know if you guys know the infinity symbol. Maybe you do. But basically, it's like a sideways figure 8, right? And that has become one of my most favorite things. And it comes up all the time because that's exactly what's happening as you're zoning somebody. So, here's them right here, and their energy is coming down, and then here's you at the bottom. And it's just this awesome continuous circuit of energy. And the cool thing is that whatever like negative junk they have going on, it's not like automatically like, oh, well, they're so like depressed, I'm just going to take that all on. No, it's a positive circuit of energy. And if there's anything like, if you don't want it, don't take it on. All you got to do is just decide and like put up this like wall, this barrier, this shield in front of you that says, okay, this is like a filter essentially. This energy, this negative energy is going to go through that filter. And the only thing that comes through it is positive to me. But if I have negative energy, the only thing that's going to go back through that filter, the other person, is that positive energy. So that's kind of a side tangent. But as you are working with somebody, your cup is being filled as well. And it's so funny that I never expected to be able to work all day long rubbing someone's feet. And at the end of the day, I am not mentally and emotionally exhausted. Like, I could be like a little stiff because I've been sitting down all day. But you guys, it balances out my emotions like you would not believe. I can always tell if it's been too long between zones for me, like between zoning somebody, because my emotions start to go like this. And then it takes me going and zoning someone again to be able to realize, like, oh my gosh, I needed this. This is what life is supposed to be like. I'm not supposed to be ornery and unstable all of the time. All right. So before we move on to anything else, I keep wanting to ask for questions because I feel like it's important, because so often we have a question and we wait till the end and then we forget it. So if anyone has a question right now, speak up, type in the comments or anything. Let me know. Okay. Okay, Karen, my son grinds his teeth. Would working his jaw help that? Yes. Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. So let me see if I can pull that up again. Okay. So as you are doing that, so this jaw area right here, okay? So this is all his head. So what I would do, Karen, is I would just like really focus on the jaw, but then also focus just like on this whole area right here, all the way around this toe, because you're going to get into like the muscles of the neck and more of like the deep muscles of the jaw. Because it's not necessarily a structural thing, they're grinding the teeth, it's the muscles. So I would really just like work that area right there. And I think that you would see a huge, I mean, at least for him, it would relax it a little bit. I don't know if like he gets discomfort or pain right there. But I would think that when you rub that, it's probably going to be tender. He probably won't like it because there's an issue there. But you don't have to like sit there and like dig and grind. You don't want to like inflict massive pain, but it might be tender, just so you can expect that. So you guys, I am so excited that you guys are out there and that you want to learn about this. Okay, sorry, Karen, like right before bed. Yeah, do it before bed. Do it when he wakes up, just like randomly throughout the day, because if you can just loosen that up, I think it will make a difference all the time. I totally do. Okay. All right. So I love foot zoning, you guys. I do. And it's so funny because I never in a million years, one, thought that I would do it, but also I didn't think that this would be such a huge journey of self-discovery for me. I didn't expect that. I just expected to like be able to have this tool to help my family, which really was my ultimate purpose going into it. I had no interest in doing it as a job. as a source of income. I solely wanted to do it for my family. I wanted to give my family something, because this is backtracking a little bit, you guys, but we have this problem where, like, as women, we really tend to feel like these feelings of like being like useless or like kind of emotionally unstable. Sorry, you guys. And I don't know about you, but for me, I get sick of giving my kids medicine all the time. I get sick of taking, like, popping pills for everything. So to me, foot zoning was the logical step for me. Okay. And get this off of here so you can stop looking at feet. It was the logical step for me, because with this foot zoning, it gives you, like, the skills to be able to help your family in a crisis. It's going to help balance out your emotions, as well as the people that you're serving, and an alternative method of healing. And for me, that was really important. My husband is a nurse, and he's so good at what he does, you guys. And I'm so grateful for the knowledge that he has and the time that he spent, learning those things. But for me, it's not my favorite approach. It doesn't work the best for me and my body, and that's okay. We're all so different. There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment at all. So basically, if you have any interest in, like, having less doctor visits or going to the hospital less, or maybe, like, you're just feeling burnt out at home, or even at work, maybe you're just at this job and you get so burnt out and you're just done and you're ready for something new. Or maybe you want, like, a little bit more insight into what's really going on in your body or in your family's body, and you're just not getting the answers that you need. So with this foot zoning, what you guys are going to learn is you'll learn the anatomy, you'll learn the physiology. You're going to learn more about how the emotions are connected to your body. And this is just like a huge list of all of these things that you guys can get out of foot zoning, you guys. And I'm not going to go into all of these, because not all of these are important to everybody, but just whatever speaks to you. But another one that was really huge to me that I loved is the application. So yeah, you're going to learn the skills as you, like, learn how to do these things, but you also learn how to apply it in everyday life. I love teaching my daughter about foot zoning. And it's so funny because when I was learning, she was 1.5 years, and I would catch her in the front room, and she would have her little baby doll on the recliner, and she would be sitting on my stool, and she'd be rubbing her little baby's feet. And it just melted my heart, because she understood that it was an act of service and that it actually did something when you rub someone's feet. She would come up to me, and I'm not going to, like, reach my foot up here so you can't see it, but she'd, like, hold her foot up in the air and she'd say, "Mom, zone," because she could feel, you guys, she could pick up and sense and feel the difference when I would zone her. And I've had, like, nieces and nephews come up to me and ask me if I would, and then actually say thank you at the end. Like, from kids that don't stop and say thank you, they're like, "Oh, thank you." I'm like, "You're welcome. I didn't realize it was that big of a deal." But anyways, so there's so many different things that are available to you. And starting next month, it's actually February 23rd and 24th, I am doing my kind of like my orientation or my student teaching to become certified to teach my own foot zoning courses. And I'm so excited. And because of that, I've kind of, like, been given the opportunity to, like, kind of pick the people that I feel like would work the best with this program, and who I see that could really benefit and bring things to this program. And it's held in Wellsville, Utah. I'm not sure if everyone is local. I know, Jillian, you are. And if you have questions about, like, doing distance things or anything, let me know afterwards. But what's crazy, you guys, is as I was looking at other foot zoning programs, almost all of them were, like, these independent study or online courses, which can be so effective, you guys. And some people learn really well that way. But for me personally, I need hands-on. I need the experience. I need that one-on-one training and guidance and mentoring, because there's some points on your feet that are literally, like, less than a centimeter apart. But it's so important to be specific and to be accurate if you're wanting those results. So that didn't work for me. And these programs that I found, they're like over $3,000, and I wasn't getting any of that one-on-one attention. So when you do this program, when you like get involved in this program, you know, you're going to have the opportunities to earn more money, the freedom to choose your schedule. I work when I want, where I want. It's fantastic. You get this peace of mind, like when problems come up and whatnot in your family, that you actually have a tool that you can help and that you aren't useless. You guys, you have that tool and you can make a difference and serve. And, you know, you might be that difference between like what happens between a major accident, a major trauma occurring, and when they get to the hospital, or, you know, whatnot. For me, I live kind of a ways out of town. And if my husband nurse isn't home, I need to feel like I can have some control and some way of helping my daughter if something were to happen. One of the biggest things that is so huge, you guys, is when you go through this course, for the rest of your life, you get free continued education after this. So that means that at any time, you can come and audit any of my courses. And also, since I'm doing my teaching with the owner, like founder, creator of We Do Feet seminars, you can also attend any of his trainings for the rest of your life for free. And I don't know any of you guys if you've had to do continuing education credits ever before, but they are not cheap. Usually pay per credit. Sometimes you have to travel. They're not always very fun, but you honestly get, for the lifetime, you get free continued education. I am losing my voice, girls. But really, I think the biggest thing is that it really is just this huge journey of self-discovery, like I was telling you. That wasn't my intention. But you're going to come out with so much more confidence, such a more clear vision of like what your mission and what your purpose is in life, so that moving forward, you can enjoy life more and you can feel like satisfied and you can feel fulfilled, basically. So the regular price of this program is $400 per seminar. And what a seminar is it's held over a weekend. So it's a 2-day seminar. So typically like a Friday, Saturday, all day, and that's only once a month. So as you're doing that, you guys, I've talked to so many women, even like my mother-in-law, she is able to help her mom deal with respiratory issues. Young moms are able to, you know, get their babies to settle down at night instead of screaming all night long. You're able to like learn how to really set goals and to move forward, because there is also that mentoring aspect of this foot zoning program. So, but you guys, there are some limitations to this, because there's only 12 spots available in each class and they are filling up. So there's only a couple spots left. And I was talking to Brad Knoll. He is the founder and creator of We Do Feet seminars, who I'm going to be teaching with. And he so generously offered a special deal for you guys on top of all of these other ones that I will tell you about. So initially, for everybody, they do offer a $300 discount if everything is paid in full by class 2. So that would be March 23rd, because they do offer payment plans if that is something that, you know, you feel would better suit your situation. So there's that $300 discount off of that. But then also, and that's as the tuition is a total. The tuition is $3,600. So you get $300 off if you have it all paid in full by March 23rd. But then in addition, you guys, Brad told me that for anyone that is willing to do like an early registration, if you contact me, let me know that you're interested, and put down a $100 deposit by January 31st, he will cover your books. So that's a $150 expense that you guys would have to have on top of that. So if you commit by January 31st and just put that $100 down, you seriously get $150 off in addition. And in addition to that, they offer referral discounts. You guys, if you sign up somebody with you, if you bring a friend or a mom or a sister, anybody with you, you get an additional $200 off. So I mean, I kind of did the math. So essentially you guys could be saving, well, like $350, I think is what it was. So that's a huge bonus, but it has to be by January 31st, or that last part kind of goes out the window. So you guys, we love just working with committed people, to be perfectly honest. And as I was talking to Brad about this, because so often, the money comes up and people are like, oh, I can't afford it, because that's where I was at. I had nothing, you guys. I could barely buy groceries. And he worked with me, and he wants to work with you guys as well. He told me, he's like, if money is the issue, let's work with it. Let's make it happen so that it's not an issue. They're willing to work with you guys and find something that works for you, because we believe in the power that foot zoning holds, not just for serving other people, but the power and the shift that will happen in your own life as you go on this journey. So what you need to do is, got my slides out of order here. Go ahead and just reach out to me to get enrolled. You're welcome to call me, to text me. You can send me an email. If Facebook Messenger works best for you, that is totally fine. But you guys, I guarantee that if you make this commitment and you really put yourself into it and just dive in feet first, I guess you should dive head first, whatever. You guys will get results. I swear to you, I promise. And when you're in this course, I am more than happy to give free zones to any of my students during the course of this program. So that's another added bonus. So make sure that you reach out to me, and I am so, so excited to see you guys get that clarity and boost of that confidence as you are on this journey. And you guys, if you guys could get even just half of the experience that I did, you would be so much farther ahead than where you already are. And I know that you guys will, because it's literally changed my life, you guys. It has. And I'm so grateful that you guys took the time to hop on here and to share your questions and your thoughts, and to take that time out of your schedule, because y'all are busy. I get it. So that being said, I want to open it up for a little Q&A. So anything goes. But remember, this is being recorded. So if there's something that you're not comfortable with sharing, either put it in the chat or reach out to me after. So who has a question? I can see some wheels turning.
I have one.
Okay.
Is there a spot on your foot that you can rub that will help you relax, I guess?
Yes. Your entire foot. It depends on what you're trying to relax specifically. Do you mean physically relax a muscle area, or do you mean mentally just relax?
I guess maybe kind of both. If there was a way to help me get my little girl to relax before bedtime.
Okay, yeah. So there are a couple things, because when you get into emotions and whatnot, you're getting into the brain and the release of different the chemicals and the hormones and the balance there. So if you remember, your head is your big toe, right? So your brain is going to be on the bottom of your toe, kind of right in here. So, just kind of rub their toes. And little kids are so, so receptive to foot zoning, especially the energy side of it. They just calm down so quickly. So I don't know if you've ever tried just rubbing her feet before bed, even, and you put a little essential oils on there, some calming oils. That in itself can make a huge difference.
Yeah. I've done it a few times, but sometimes it seems like it might take a minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's not necessarily the quick fix. You can't just push the button and oh, you're fixed. But with that in mind, there are, one of the things that I really like to do, I'm a really visual person, but I'm also very much kinesthetic. I do so much by feeling. And so as I'm zoning people, if there's just a bunch of negative junk that is just stuck, I literally just imagine my hands like a magnet or an eraser, and just kind of just pull it out and just shake it off. Get out of there. You don't need that. So sometimes with little kids, if they're super, super high energy, just kind of like have that intent in your mind, and just kind of visualize and just trust yourself. Just even though you may not have a clue what you're doing, just trust yourself and go with it. And I guarantee if you do, you'll get results.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Cool. All right. What other questions do you guys have? I want to make sure that there's no questions unanswered. This is your time. All right. Okay, well, I don't want to be like the obnoxious teacher that just like calls people's names out and puts you on the spot, because I hate that. So you guys, if there's no more questions, I really want to thank you guys for taking the time and pushing pause on your schedule. And for some of you, it's probably getting close to like bedtime, or maybe you're in the middle of dinner. I don't know, but thank you so much. And I look so much forward to seeing you guys in class. I'm excited to see you guys learn and to see you grow. And I'm excited. So I hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks again, and we will talk to you later. See ya.